Hello everyone, welcome to Brain Blitz Audios. Today in this episode of BITSAT Practice, we're going to be looking at some questions asked in previous exams of BITSAT for the subject English. So in this particular episode, we're looking at the 2018 BITSAT paper, and we're going to be looking at the questions of English asked in that exam. So English as a subject, we can have many types of questions, most probably, the ones that relate to synonyms and antonyms. So let's begin with our first question. So in this first question, they're asking us, in each of the following questions, out of the four alternatives, choose the one which can be substituted for the given words or sentence. A person who believes that pleasure is the chief good. So in this question, we need to understand the meaning, the definition of the four words given, and find out which of these correspond to the definition given in the question. A person who believes that pleasure is the chief good. So in order to understand this question, let's look at all of the four options. So first of all, let's look at option D. So option D is sensual. And what is the meaning of the word sensual? Sensual means relating to or involving the gratification of the senses. So if something is pleasing to the senses, then we call it as sensual. So for example, a sensual experience. So as you can see, the definition of sensual does not correspond with the definition given, a person who believes that pleasure is the chief good. So sadly, we have to drop off option D. So option D is incorrect. What about option A, stoic? So a stoic person is a person who can endure pain or hardship without complaining. So the definition for stoic, once again, does not correspond with a person who believes that pleasure is their chief good. So option A is also incorrect. What about option C, epicure? Well, epicure refers to a person who takes particular pleasure in fine food and drink. So basically what we call today a foodie. So option C, epicure, refers to a foodie, a person who takes particular pleasure in fine food and drink. So option C, once again, does not correspond with our given definition here, which is a person who believes that pleasure is the chief good. So C is also incorrect. Now that leaves us option B, hedonist. So a hedonist is the correct option for the definition, a person who believes that pleasure is the chief good. So a hedonist, they always look after pleasure and they try to live life to the max, and that's why hedonist is the appropriate answer for the question given, which is to choose the word which can be substituted for the definition, a person who believes that pleasure is their chief good. Now let's look at the next question. Choose the word opposite in meaning to the given word meticulous. So in this question, we need to find out the antonym, or the word that represents an antonym, to the given word meticulous. So in order to understand this question first, we need to know what meticulous means first. So the word meticulous it means the following. So it means showing great attention to detail. In other words, a person who is meticulous is someone who is very careful. So that is the meaning of the word meticulous. So we need to find out the word which is opposite in meaning. So we need to find the antonym of meticulous. So we have 4 options: forgetful, destructive, careless, and flagrant. Let's start out with option A, forgetful. And, well, you know what forgetful means. It means not able to remember. So we can easily discard option A because it does not have the opposite meaning, because not able to remember is not the opposite meaning to showing great attention to detail. The opposite of forgetfulness is, wise and learned. Now, next we have option B, destructive. And the word destructive refers to causing great and irreparable damage. But destructive as itself is not exactly the antonym for the word meticulous. So option B is incorrect. Now here meticulous is showing it's talking about great attention to detail and very careful, while destructive, while it does mean that the person is not careful, that it is not an exact antonym for the word meticulous. What about option D, flagrant? The word flagrant means offensive. So something that is offensive is what we term as flagrant. So option D is again incorrect because it does not come out opposite in meaning to the word meticulous. Now, besides elimination, you could have checked that in the definition that we gave for meticulous, it says showing great attention to detail, very, very careful. So if meticulous has a synonym careful, then an antonym for meticulous will always be option C, which is careless. So careless means not giving sufficient attention to detail, or in order to avoid harm or make something destructive. So careless is the exact antonym that we're looking for, so it is the most appropriate option for the given question, which is to find the antonym, the word opposite in meaning, to the given word meticulous. Now, next question. Out of the 4 alternatives, choose the one which expresses the correct meaning of the word consolation. So we have 4 options, and we need to find out the synonym here, because here we need to express the correct meaning of the word. So but since we have, one word answers, we should probably look for the synonym of the word consolation. So let's start out by defining consolation, then we can look out its possible synonyms. So consolation means it's basically the comfort received by a person after he experiences some loss or disappointment. So this is the meaning of the word consolation, and we need to find out the correct synonym. So we have 4 options. Let's start out with option D, solution. Solution is basically defined as a means or way to solve a problem. So therefore, option D is incorrect. Now, sadness is the feeling of not being happy or unhappy. So therefore, option C is also incorrect. If you look at option B, which is problem, problem refers to unwelcome or harmful matters and situations. So option B is incorrect. So therefore, the correct answer is option A, comfort. Comfort refers to freedom from pain or constraint. And we can use the word comfort both as a noun and as a verb. And consolation refers to the comfort that we receive from a person after a loss or disappointment. Comfort refers to the feeling of freedom from pain or sadness or constraint. So that's why option A is the correct option for this question, which was asked in 2018. Now, next question. Choose the word opposite in meaning to the given word flagitious. So the word opposite in meaning means that we need to find out the antonym of the word flagitious. So we have four options: innocent, vapid, ignorant, frivolous. So first we need to find out the meaning of the word flagitious. Flagitious. Now, the word flagitious refers to something that is criminal or villainous. So we need to find out the word which is opposite in meaning to criminal or villainous. So now we have four options. Let's start out with option D. Option D is frivolous, and the word frivolous means lacking a serious purpose. So something that has no serious purpose, or someone who is carefree. So these are the meanings of, these are the words that we use in order to describe someone who's frivolous. So frivolous is not the correct answer. Option D is incorrect. Now option C is ignorant. Now ignorant has two meanings. Number one is lacking knowledge. So someone who's lacking knowledge is called ignorant, and someone who is being disrespectful is also called as ignorant because he is not respecting and he's not aware of the etiquette that we have to follow, so he's ignorant. So option C again is not correct because here it's talking about being disrespectful. You can be disrespectful without actually becoming criminal. So therefore option C is incorrect. Now what about option B, vapid? Now vapid refers to a substance that has no stimulations. Something which is bland is what we call vapid, and again that is not the correct answer that we're looking for. Option B is incorrect. The right answer is option A, which is innocent. Innocent means not guilty of a crime or offense. So innocent becomes the antonym of the word flagitious. Flagitious refers to something that's criminal, while innocent means not guilty of a crime. So innocent is quite opposite in meaning to the word flagitious. Let's look at the next question. A person who is in charge of a museum is called A, a caretaker, B, a warden, C, supervisor, D, a curator. So we have a given definition here. We need to find out the correct word that matches with this definition. So who is a caretaker? A caretaker is a person employed to look after a building. So in other words, the person that we call a janitor is also known as a caretaker. He He's employed to look after the building and ensure that it's clean, neat, and well cared for. So option A is not exactly correct because here it's specific. The person who is in charge of a museum is called as. Well, caretaker refers to any old building. So option A is incorrect. What about option B, warden? Now, warden is someone who is responsible for, supervising a place and enforcing rules. So, like for example, in jails you have wardens, and they are responsible for ensuring that the rules are followed inside a jail. So, warden here refers to someone who's supervising a place and enforcing rules. So therefore option B is incorrect because that is not the exact definition we're looking for. Next, option C, you have supervisor. Now, a supervisor is a person who supervises a person or activity. So suppose you have some construction work going on, you will have a supervisor who ensures that the work is being done up to standard and it's done on time. So option C again, supervisor, is incorrect. The correct answer is option D, which is curator. Now, all of these can be you may have a caretaker in a museum, you may have a warden or even a supervisor in a museum, but they're not especially employed to look after a museum. They're employed to look after different parts. So caretaker is employed to look after the building, like cleaning, and the warden is responsible for enforcing rules, and supervisor means that he supervises the person or activity inside the building or outside it. The correct answer as to the person who is in charge of a museum is called a curator. Now, this word curator is basically what we call jargon. It's used as a jargon for museum talk. So, especially if two people who are who are running museums, they talk to each other, then words like curator are common between them, but an outsider does not know what the word means exactly. So these kinds of words are known as jargon. So a lot of professions have jargons. So even in the case of people in charge of a museum, they're called as curator. This is an example of a jargon. Now, let's look at the last question of this episode. Choose the word opposite in meaning to the given word auspicious. So again, here we need to find out the antonym of the word auspicious. So we have four options. We have prosperous, unfavorable, improper, or new. So we need to find out the word opposite in meaning. So we need to find out the most appropriate option here. So before that, let's find out the meaning of the word auspicious. So the word auspicious refers to conducive to success, so this word is an adjective, and its synonyms include favorable. So basically, if you have an auspicious occasion, then in that occasion you're more likely to achieve success, and it's the favorable condition to you. And that's why auspicious is used as an adjective. So we have four options here. Let's look at option D, which is the word new. So the word new basically refers to not existing before. So again, the definition is not opposite to the word auspicious, so option D is incorrect. Now what about option C, the word improper? The word improper means not in accordance with accepted standards. So for example, if you mixed the concrete for a building if you do not mix the concrete properly, then you can say that the concrete is improper. So option C is incorrect, because this definition here is not an exact opposite to the definition for the word auspicious. Now, what about the word prosperous? Prosperous is a word which is used to describe rich people. So that means, so a person who is prosperous is successful in material terms. So option A is incorrect. So therefore, here the correct option is option B, unfavorable, a situation that is not conducive to success. And as you can see, we've used the word favorable as a synonym for auspicious, and unfavorable is basically the word opposite in meaning to the word favorable. So you can say that the antonym of auspicious is unfavorable. So one word can have many antonyms. So unfavorable is one of the many antonyms given to the word auspicious. Another example you can think of is inauspicious, for example. So that concludes this episode of BITSAT Practice. We hope you found this episode interesting. For more of our useful and interesting content, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, which is Brain Blitz Audios. We have a lot of videos on BITSAT Practice. If you want to access those, you can hit the link in the description box down below. That moves to the playlist. If you want to get the latest from Brain Blitz Audios, then you can hit the notifications button that is present below the video. So until the next webisode, take care, stay safe, bye-bye for now.